Hello and welcome to the PetXI Virtual Mentor short video on completing a cash flow and budget forecast. Remember, this video helps you to learn and understand what you'll need to complete the portfolio, so it is very important that you pay attention. There will be a short test at the end to make sure you have watched the video and a small piece of homework for you to complete ready for the PetXI team's return to your school. You do not need to complete a cash flow based on your business. You will not be creating the cash flow or budget forecast now. This will be done in class with the PetXI team. This video is to make sure you have a basic understanding of what is required before you arrive. You will need to make notes. You can of course pause or rewind the video whilst making notes. I would pause it after every couple of points and make the notes you need to help you later on. In order to achieve a merit, which is the best grade you can get on this part, you need to complete a simple cash flow and budget, but also explain the strengths and weaknesses of the cash flow and budget forecast and why you decided on the amounts you did. So, what is a cash flow? A cash flow is a document that records the money flowing in and out of the business, usually on a monthly basis. It is separated into income and expenditure. Income is the money being brought into the business through the different income streams. Expenditure is the money leaving the business. This would include things like building rents and rates, staff wages, stock, and potentially thousands of other things which the business has to pay out. Why is cash flow so important? Try and think of cash flow as a snap picture of your personal bank account. If more money is going in than going out, then you can go and buy something nice for yourself. If there is more money going out than going in, you become overdrawn and eventually completely run out of money. If that should happen to a business, the business is forced to close its doors and shut. If you overspend on your bank account in 1 month, but you have the cash to allow you to do so, you don't end up being overdrawn. The same is true for a business. Having a cash flow allows a business to see how much cash is left in the business and whether they are overspending or not. Having a lack of cash flow is one of the biggest reasons why business fails. For your portfolio, you're required to complete a simple cash flow. What we are going to do now is walk you through a simple business and how this would represent in a cash flow. For this demonstration, I have simplified everything into groups. You will be allowed to do the same for your portfolio. I'd like you to imagine that you are running a restaurant. The restaurant is very busy and takes an average of £8,000 per week. The takings go up by 20% during November and December and down by 15% in January and February. For a forecast, you can put these assumptions in for each month like this. January and February. £8,000 times 4 weeks equals £32,000. Take away your 15% leaves you with £27,200. In March and October, £8,000 for 4 weeks is £32,000 per month. And then in November and December, £8,000 for 4 weeks is £32,000. Add on 20%. Gives £38,400. Now let's go to the Excel spreadsheet so that we can fill these in. As you'll see here, we've got an Excel spreadsheet which is already half filled out. Some of these numbers add up by themselves, some we'll have to fill in as we go along. This is how January looks if you enter these figures and put in the following expenditure. According to our sales, we should have £27,200 in income. So as you see there, it now works out some of the figures below. So let's have a look at what we've got in expenditure. I've classed the following lines for expenditure to keep it simple: employee wages, premises rent, premises bills, insurances, and stock costs. Employee wages across the business is 20% of the income, so this changes each month as the income decreases or increases. I picked this because it is industry standard for wages in a restaurant, including kitchen and waiting staff. For this particular month, as you can see, it automatically worked it out at £5,440. Premises rent is a set figure of £6,500, no matter how much we take in income. I chose this number due to looking at city centre rents in the city where I live. Premises bills are £2,000 per month. I chose this after Googling expected bills in a restaurant in the city where I live. Insurances, £500 per month. Again, I chose this based on an internet search for the city I live in and the insurances required in a restaurant. Stock, in this case food, works out at 40% of the income. The more you sell, the more you need. The figure was based on talking to friends of mine who work in the business who told me the average stock cost is around 40%. For this month, it comes out at £10,880. This makes a total expenditure £25,320. A kitchen refit was planned in for August, costing £6,000, which we'll enter as we go along once we get to that month. Now we have the opening balance of cash from the previous month, which we can update on each month, and the cash variance, which is the income minus the expenditure. This case, £1,880. Lastly, the closing balance shows us how much cash we should have in the bank. So as you can see in January, once we've worked out the figures, we are left with £1,880 in the bank. Should something like a big unexpected bill come in now, which was £5,000 for example, the business would be out of money. Now let's add in February. We're going to use the same figures that we used before. So February has £27,200 in income, £5,440 in employee wages, £6,500 in rent, £2,000 in bills, £5,000 in insurance, and the stock of £10,880 again. As you can see now, we have £3,760 in cash left over at the bottom. So now if we move to March to October, we're now working on an average of £8,000 a week, which is £32,000 in each month. So what we'll do now is we'll copy those across from March to October. We'll add in all of our rent, bills and insurances, which don't change, and copy them across. And then we'll add in our kitchen refit in August of £6,000. And as you can see, we've got more than enough cash to cover that, which means that was when we could do the kitchen refit. We could have even done it a bit earlier if we wanted to. So let's put in November, December. These are higher income in the restaurant trade because of Christmas. So the sales have gone up by 20%, which means now we need to enter a figure of £38,400. Copy that over to December. And again, copy over our static bills of rent, bills and insurance. And as you can see then, we've been left over at the end of the year with a cash balance of £40,880. For your portfolio, you would need to explain why you have made assumptions. I said some explanations on here as I was filling out the spreadsheet. I've done 12 months here, you will need to do 6. For your homework, pick a simple cash business, i.e. a window cleaner or a car wash, etc., and complete some research which will allow you to complete your cash flow at school with the PetXI team. Use Google to answer the following: average takings per day or week or month on the business you've chosen, average cost to consider, any hidden costs or bills which may surprise your business, and the strengths and the weaknesses of a cash flow. For the budget forecast, we will complete 6 months of a very simple forecast. We are going to imagine a window cleaning business. The business currently has an income of £1,500 per month. The expenditure of the business is around £600 of the income. The purpose of a budget forecast is to set the business targets. Over the next 6 months, the business wants to increase the income by £500 each month, which will give the business owner both the target to aim at and how much profit they can expect to see in a simple form. As you can see now, it's just increasing it by £500 each month. As you can see, an extra £500 of sales equates to an extra £200 profit each month, going from £600 at the start to £1,600 in June. This is an example of what you'll need to produce for your portfolio. Again, you will need to justify why you picked the figures you did. For the purpose of this, I googled window cleaners and their profit margins. You will also need to complete some research on the strengths and weaknesses of budget forecasting ready for when the team are next in. You should have the following when you return for the next part of your course. For a cash flow, for your homework, pick a simple cash business, i.e. a window cleaner, car wash, etc., and complete some research, which I mentioned earlier. For the budget forecasting, you'll also need to complete a bit of research on that. That's everything. Thank you for taking the time to watch this PetXI Virtual Mentor video on cash flow and budget forecasting. Good luck with your project. We'll see you on the next video.